All right, so this is the little greenhouse that I got off of Amazon.com, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of a review on it. This is the second one that I have had, and it has really done the job for me. A couple of things that I had to do to it were secure the racks down to the main bar, and then it did not come with any lights, so I did order these also off of Amazon. They're about $45 for a 2-pack. Now they're nothing special, but they'll do the job till you get your plants outside. Be careful whenever you're putting this together because it is kind of cheap plastic here, but otherwise it will work until you get your plants outside and get your seeds started. It does come with this plastic cover. This does melt pretty easily, so don't put it near too hot of a surface or any kind of heaters against a wall. And this does not come with any kind of heater for the inside to keep it humid. Once the cover is on, I do put it in front of a sunny window to help out. So I'll be back whenever I get the cover on. Okay, so cover is on. You do kind of have to shimmy it down in place and maybe stretch it a little bit. And when you shut the zippers for the first time, make sure you're kind of doing it evenly. And once you get to the bottom here, you kind of have to pull these together to get it shut. But usually once you get it in place, then you don't have a problem the rest of the time. Another thing I did was I did secure the cords to my lights to the side just to keep them out of the way. There are little ties in here that you can tie the cover to the poles. I do have a little heating pad in here that is for pets, so it doesn't actually get really hot. And my lights actually do not produce heat, so that is a good thing. That way it doesn't get too hot in there or potentially cause a fire, that kind of thing. Okay, so I'll be back whenever I get some seeds started in this greenhouse. Okay, so I'm starting to get my trays ready for the seedlings I want to start. This is by no means all that I'm going to plant, but this is just to get me started because it's only beginning of February. I usually don't plant peppers or tomatoes or anything like that until mid-March, end of March, beginning of April, that kind of thing. So stay tuned because I recently moved and I'm starting from scratch. So what I did here was I filled some of my trays. I'm gonna have to put a little bit more in these, but I did fill this one. I did fill it all the top. You want to maybe, once you get it full, dampen it a little bit first, and then once you have your seeds started, go ahead and use a spray bottle and spritz it again. I do use slightly warm water. That way it kind of gets the condensation going. And I do cover these with either, I start them out with saran wrap until they get germinated. And then I take the cover off and turn the grow lamps on. So the soil that I'm using to start these, Needy has graciously decided to cover for me. So Needy, move over here. So I'm using Miracle-Gro seed starting potting mix, specially formulated for fast root development. I have not used this before. This is my first year using this. I was kind of in a pinch and needed something just to get started. I have used other products of Miracle-Gro before and I have had good success with it. So we'll be back whenever I get some things planted. This is kind of the selection that I've picked out of my seed collection. This is the kind of stuff that I would probably put out in the garden first. So we've got Iceberg, a head lettuce. I've had these seeds a few years and they're still germinating, so we're gonna still go with them. And then early on a cabbage. I do like to make my own coleslaw in the summertime. And then I got some herbs here that I do want to start, and even if they don't go outside, I can have them in the house. So this is arugula. Sorry for my bags being all discontorted because, like I said, I had fire and they got a little bit melted, but thankfully the seeds survived. And then here I've got collard greens. I'm not particularly a fan of these, but I do have a coworker that loves them, so I'm gonna start some for him. And then I've got Brussels sprouts, another thing I'm not crazy about, but starting for some coworkers. And then this is thyme, tiny, tiny little seeds, but great for putting on meat and when you're cooking. And then we got some oregano. So we'll get these started. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I've turned on the water, I've made it, and you need to get it warm, not hot, just warm. And then once you get it adjusted, once I get my stuff out of the way, I'm just taking the spritzer and the container on the bottom of this doesn't have any holes in it, so that will also help keep moisture in there as well. Alright, and just let that soak through. Okay, so here I've got some arugula seeds, and because I like to have these in pots, I don't necessarily have to put them out in the garden. I'm just going to take one section here, and I'm just going to sprinkle them around, and then I'll take some dry soil from another bag, and I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top and give it a spritz, and in the greenhouse it goes. You're done. Okay, so now I've put all the seeds that I wanted to put in that container. Right now I don't have a dome or any kind of saran wrap at the moment, so I'm using a plain garbage bag. And I have put that on top of a little seed starting heater / pet warmer. This will not continue to get hot and hotter, and this is unplugged while I'm gone. So that's why you should put your greenhouse in front of a window so you can open the blinds and the sun can do a lot of the work for you. So I got all the seeds planted to go back and make one slight change. I did take the original seed tray out of the bag, and I just put that directly on the little heater that I have to germinate my seeds. And I just laid this plastic bag over top. That way it's not actually touching any kind of heated surface.